Okay, my name is Renato Rodrigues. I'm head of region of Regrow for Latin America.
My name is Devon Long. I'm the general manager for Regrow for Australia and New Zealand.
I'm Gayathri Gopalakrishnan, and I'm the Director of Environmental Science here at Regrow.
My name is John Shriver, and I'm the Director of Data Science at Regrow.
Combine what you love with what the world needs, you have your mission. Combining what the world needs with what you can get paid for, you find your vocation. When you get together what you can get paid for with what you are good at, you have the profession. And when you add what you are good at to what you love, you have passion. But only when you reach the intersection of these four elements, mission, vocation, profession, and passion, you reach your ikigai. And I found my ikigai at Regrow.
It's challenging, it's complex, it has real impact, and I decided that was it. That's what I was going to be doing from now on.
It's a journey that started in science and research and wandered into technology and working with startups and like Regrow, and figuring out how you can use technology not just for clicks, but to actually make an impact on the real world.
I went to the University of Michigan's School of Natural Resources, where I got to learn about all the incredible ways that you can measure the environment, you can get out in the environment and kind of learn about what's happening. But when I graduated, I wanted to make an impact on the ground and really help growers adopt best practices in the way that they were farming.
For this, Brazil has a public policy and finance that aims to implement more than 70 million hectares of regenerative agriculture till 2030. This is the size of Scotland or South Carolina, for example. So it's a huge area just to implement new technologies, new and sustainable agriculture in the next years. And I truly believe that we can implement carbon projects in part of this area. So in this way, we can generate carbon credits and add value to the Brazilian products that will be produced according to international standards. And with this project, we will also generate extra income for farmers. That is very important for us. Not only farmers, but also cooperatives and companies in general.
I help businesses build a tangible business case for transition to regenerative agriculture. Sometimes it's a little bit awkward to think about environmental stewardship as a business decision, but it 100% is a business decision, and a good business decision at that.
Our science is not just science for science's sake, but it's science that has a direct impact. So the work that we do in understanding how agricultural systems work and how human practices, how the practices that we as farmers and we as consumers do impacts the amount of carbon that gets sequestered, or how sustainable and resilient our farms are and our crops are under a changing climate, and how we can use agricultural systems and plants in general to improve water quality, to improve our biodiversity, and to improve how we sequester carbon in the soil and mitigate climate change. It's all part of how we can make our environment more sustainable.
You can't change what you can't measure. And once we have that big picture view, we can really start to imagine what we want the world to look like in the future and then hold ourselves accountable. Because if you can measure something in the past, we can also then in real time see what our impact is. And so as we kind of go through this journey at Regrow, I love that we're able to build out that toolkit to establish the baseline of where we're starting, and then also leave a record behind of our efforts and our successes on the landscape. And that's something that we can see and that everybody else can see as well.
This is, of course, a very personal challenge. And because of that, first of all, you must know yourself very well. Of course, it's not easy, but it's a changing life process and a lifelong process too, because we change all the time. But when we know our purpose, our values, our skills, strengths, and weakness, it's easier to make meaningful change.
As a consumer, you can pay attention to where your food comes from. We need to keep brands accountable to progress. And frankly, we need to reward those that are making meaningful investments to decarbonize their supply chain. Ultimately, that's the best way to ensure that we see further investment in this space. Outside of that, have a look at job openings. Regrow and many other amazing companies in this space are working on what is really the biggest challenge of our time. And if we stand any chance of success, we need the best brains in the world to be on our side to succeed.
One of the challenges in our current time is that it feels like the problems are so big that there's not a lot that what you do as an individual that can impact it. And what I found is that being able to have local action and working with people in other communities and building a community that does similar things in different arenas, maybe in different countries, maybe in different groups, is one of the ways in which it helps me feel that I can have an impact.
Talking to my kids and my kids' friends about the world that we live in. So exploring the world around us, and really building that love for nature and for the natural world, and investing in the place that we are. I think sometimes it's easy to think about sustainability and the environment as this big nebulous place that exists somewhere distant from us. But I'd really encourage people to look around where they are today, where you are today. What can you explore and how can you change and improve and care for the place that you are now?